Hey there, friends on YouTube. My name is Jason. This is Painfully Honest Tech. So honest it hurts. And this is the time of year where I guess everybody does their video where they talk about the year that's been that's passed and the year that is to come and where their lives are and all that kind of stuff. And so that's, I guess, what this video is. I've been lying to you. Maybe lying to myself. Maybe lying is a harsh word, but I haven't been 100% true to myself and who I am and what I value and the things that I want to bring into the world and offer the world. I have not been doing that. A few years ago when the channel started to become successful, it became successful when I had a few really big videos that sort of jumped out, and the Can You Trust series was something that I really enjoyed doing, but that kind of ran its course. Overall, I think I made about 25 Can You Trust videos, and that was there was a time and a conversation that I wanted to have that happened, and then it didn't seem like there was any place left to go with it. And I've struggled over the past year or so trying to figure out what it is that I want to do with the platform that I've built here on YouTube. I am not afraid to sort of speak my mind and sort of speak truth to power and say things about stuff that maybe other people won't say. I've gotten to the point now where I'm comfortable with the idea that I don't care what relationship I might have with a company. I have good relationships with some companies. They understand who I am and what I do and what, if that's valuable to them. There are some companies who have decided that value proposition is not for them, and that's totally cool as well. But I'm not here to curry favor in order to, get free stuff or whatever it is. Tech YouTube is compromised from the beginning. You start out, you review the stuff that you have in the hope that you get other stuff that you can then, build relationships with companies and get invited to the things and all that kind of stuff. But I started this YouTube channel back in 2013 or 14 or whenever I made my first video because I'd watched a lot of review videos. I was trying to buy a gaming headset. I'd never bought a gaming headset before. I'd never played online with other people. My friend Curtis wanted to play Battlefield 4. We just got the PlayStation 4. So I was in the market for a gaming headset. I started watching a lot of videos. I sort of triangulated how much I wanted to spend and watched videos on the products that were out there for that. Got a headset, Turtle Beach, and it was garbage. Nobody in any of the reviews said that it was garbage. I got it home, I put it on my ears, and it sounded like, two trash can lids were banging on my eardrums. It was awful, and that, frankly, pissed me off. I started making videos, and I went on the search for the gaming headset that would serve my needs. I've been an audio guy for a long time. I like good sound. And at that time, there were not a ton of products out there that really did sound pretty good. It's changed now. There's, been a big switch in the quality of gaming headsets, et cetera, et cetera. Some of the big players have come in and started making, audiophile level gaming headsets and stuff. But when I first started making those videos, I was really upset that after spending the time that I spent doing my research and taking the word of the videos that I was watching, I was not sufficiently forewarned about what I was getting myself into. So I wanted to be the person who made the video that said, hey, this thing is not all that great, if it wasn't. And that sort of has taken me down the road through Can You Trust, through all the different stuff that I've done. And I've been very, very fortunate. And for everybody who's been here for a long time or a short time, who's been watching me since I had 10,000 subs or 500 subs or just got on board not long ago, the nature of any creative endeavor is like change, right? I can't say the same thing over and over again. I can't make the same video over and over again because eventually I get bored, you get bored, and that's not good. That's not good. And while I've made a lot of smartphone videos over the past several years, and that's kind of what the channel has been about for the past several years, the smartphone industry right now is not very interesting. There's folding phones and that kind of thing, and I really like the Galaxy Fold 3 and all that, but it's not enough to sustain a channel. And in North America, at least, the market has shrunk to the point where LG is gone. A lot of smaller Android manufacturers are not really as much a part of the marketplace as they were. And it's Samsung and Apple sort of at the top, Google sort of somewhere in the sort of periphery of that, and everything else is gone. And I know that that's not the case in the rest of the world, but that's what it is in North America. And quite frankly, talking about those two companies over and over again, especially when the phones are not really improving by leaps and bounds the way that they did several years ago, it's not enough. And over the past year or so, there's been a lot about my YouTube existence that has not been enough. So when I said at the beginning of the video that I had lied to you, I had also kind of lied to myself, or at least not been fully honest with myself about what I value in the world and what it is that I need to do in order to live those values. Yes, I like to be the person that speaks truth to power, but I don't want to be the old guy who shakes his fist at the sky and that's my shtick. I don't want to have a shtick. I want to be a person that does the stuff. If you don't know about me, I started out my creative journey as a singer. I started singing songs from memory when I was 3. I was in a choir when I was 8. I was in my first band when I was 14. I toured and played gigs and wrote songs and made records. These are some of the records that I've made over the years. All the way through to my early 30s. When I was in my early 30s, after my daughter was born, I decided to go to grad school for creative writing. Ended up coming to Iowa to do that. If you know anything about the University of Iowa and the Writers' Workshop, it's a pretty prestigious place to study writing. 30 Pulitzer Prize winners and a bunch of MacArthur Genius Grants people, and they take 25 people a year out of, say, 1,500 people that apply for the fiction program. So I was blessed to get into that, and it was a really transformative experience for me. And I wrote I've always written, but when I got the opportunity to come out here and to write, I wrote every day, except for a handful of days total, maybe, every day for 10 years. I wrote short stories, novels, poems, essays, all kinds of different things. Since I started doing YouTube, and since YouTube, probably like mid-2018, since YouTube has become more of a part of my life, those other parts of my life have taken a back seat to the point where they're like on the side of the road somewhere. And I have a novel that's basically finished. I published one novel. You can get it on Amazon. Links down in the description below. And then I have another novel that's finished. I need to do one more edit through of it. But it's been finished since September of 2018, and I haven't touched it. And I have a hard drive filled with songs that I've written that I've never, properly recorded and released to the world. And this year I turned 50. I still see myself as like a 27-year-old. You have this vestigial image of yourself in your mind where you see yourself as like some certain age, and you always see yourself that age. And for me, I see myself as like 27 years old. But I know that I'm not. I mean, it's becoming obvious, in not just in the gray hair, but in the creaky bones and the other things. The wanting to go to bed at before midnight, that kind of thing. But 50 is also like one of those ages where you take stock in like where you are, what you've done. I've been incredibly fortunate. I've worked really hard. I am so glad that YouTube has become this thing that I'm able to do. Being an online content creator is something that I've been able to do. This has been the most successful year from a business standpoint for Painfully Honest Tech and my sort of online creator career ever. Uh, I've done better money wise. I mean, this is the end of year 2 of building a business, and I'm starting to get my feet under me. I'm starting to have different ways to bring in money that have made things more stable. So that's all great. From a content standpoint, the YouTube channel I feel like has floundered. Has not. I haven't really found my voice. The pandemic changed things and made it so that I just couldn't make the kinds of videos that I wanted to make anymore. And YouTube wants you to do the same thing all the time. YouTube wants to put you in a box and sort of send you down the rabbit hole of the algorithm. And I haven't found what that is for me. I have so many disparate interests that all sort of cross at some point, and that point is probably in the realm of being a creative person, being creative, creating things, living a creative life, in the sense that, like, I left behind what is, sort of the expected standard. You get a job and you work, and there's stability, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of different things that you have to think about when you go off on your own and you're sort of like creating the path. But I've been a creative person for, I mean, if you say like when I started writing songs is when I started being a true creator, and that was when I was 14 years old and I'm 50 now, then that's 36 years, almost 35 years, something like that. I don't know. I'm not good at math. I don't know if you know that. So this year, Painfully Honest Tech has got to change. Because I've got to change. I've got to change some of what I do. I've got to bring the things that I love and do well back into my life. I've got to bring teaching back into my life. That's something that I did for 15 years before I left it behind to do this full time. So I want to take experiences I've had and what I know and what I've done, and sort of make a place for it in the world. And Painfully Honest Tech is going to be a venue for that on some level. How it's going to work is still being planned. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, it's been a crazy year. Not only did I turn 50, but then this year is 10 years since I quit drinking alcohol, which was a problem. And if you've had a problem with that, you know what I'm talking about. If you have loved ones that have a problem with that, if you know anyone who has had a problem with that, then you know it is a problem. But, 10 years on, there's still a lot for me to deal with. And then my grandson was born this year, and we became his legal guardians. And so, suddenly at 50, my daughter's 18 years old. My son, our adoptive son, had, a baby with his girlfriend, and now that baby lives with us. And my daughter's 18, finishing high school. And, we thought, like, hey, we're coming out on the back end, no more school, no more, any of that kind of stuff. And our daughter will be an adult, and she'll go off and start doing her adult things. And suddenly we are, caring for an infant, which is a fantastic and amazing, wonderful thing. But man, it is also very difficult. So this has been a year of change on top of all the things that have been difficult about this year and last year, or 2021 and 2020. So 2022 is going to be the year where I'm a little bit more honest with myself and a little bit more honest with you, and a little bit more share a little bit more of who I am and what I am and what I've been, and bring that to this channel somehow. I'll be finding my way. I'll be trying to figure it out. But in the meantime, I want to say again, thank you so much to everybody who's been here for however long you've been here. Thank you so much to the folks who have become members of the channel and supported me that way, all the people who come to the live streams and talk to me, all the other creators who have been my friends and who have helped me and worked with me and done different things like that. Thank you all so much for that. As hard as much as it's hard to do, when you take a step back and you really look at it, I mean, this is a very special place to be. A community of people, spread across the world who all have come together to like have an extended discussion about something that they're passionate about. And I want to build that community. I want to bring more people in, but I do want to take this moment to say to all of you, thank you so much for everything that you've been and everything that you've done to help me build this Painfully Honest Tech community. It means a ton to me. And I'm really, really blessed to have had the opportunity to make it my life. And as it continues to evolve, I look forward to hearing from all of you. But otherwise, thanks so very much for being here. Once again, my name is Jason. This is Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts. Until the next time, I'm out.